Yeah, this big shade shooting a video. 2016 Chevy Silverado 1500. Just installed my Cook headers with Y pipe. Um, I shot another video right before this one dealing with some of the things to go over and some pointers on installing or getting ready to prepping your vehicle for installing your headers and everything. Right now, I'm just going over some things I ran into or some things to look out for after installing or while installing your headers. I'm dealing with Cook headers and Cook Y pipe when I'm doing this now. All stainless steel. If you can see, I got them already installed. I still have this liner out of my truck. I did run it for a little while, so that's why you see the little tent in the headers. Once you run it one good time, or run up and down that road one good time, your 304 stainless steel will discolor a little bit. So they're gonna turn like a little copper looking, golden looking color. It don't take long to change to that color. I'm gonna go in here and show you the Y pipe. Like I said, I went with the off-road Y pipe. Alright. Now, one thing you need to do after you run it for a little while, after installing, run it for a little while, get it up to temperature, and then actually what you want to do is after you get up to temperature, let it cool off, and then you want to retorque all your bolts, all your header bolts, and come down here on your flanges and so forth, tighten these bolts up right here. This bolt right here, this will loosen up on you. So make sure you put anti-seize down in this area right here on this bolt. When you screw up in this, make sure you don't have to do it right before when you first do it, but after when you come down to torquing time, you want to put some anti-seize on it and put your stage edge locking nuts on locking tabs and everything on here, okay? Because they will move. This right here will get loose. If you don't use this and use some Loctite on it on both sides and also over here too. Things you might want to do. Now, let me pause it. Okay, getting back with these stage 8 locking fasteners. That's my bag, and it came in the box. They come in a cook box and such. All your stuff, for the gaskets and so forth. Alright. One thing about, I started putting on those stage locking fasteners. I ain't gonna lie, I ain't put all them on, man. Because number one, when it come down, if you ever want to torque them bad boys down or have a little problem, you need to take them headers off again. It's gonna be hard to get them locking fasteners and things off. I'm telling you right now. I put couple on. It's so tedious and it's so hard to get up in there and do it again. I mean, it might be alright, you take your time. Like I said, when I did mine from the beginning, I didn't take my spark plugs out. And I'm gonna give you a reason why I didn't. The instructions say you do, so I'm not saying you don't have to. But my truck is still new. Like I said, I have a 2016. It's 2018. Okay, my truck's still new. AC Delco Iridium type spark plugs is good up to 100,000 miles. Okay. And by me saying that, I only have 50,000 miles on my truck. So by me saying that, you know what I'm saying, I still have a good Still they say it's good up to 100,000 miles, so I still got a good 50, if not 35, 40,000 miles put on my truck before I get rid of them, by what they say. So a lot of people that go into headers and on 1/7/8, 1/3/4, they rather to do other things to the truck, maybe Pro Charger or Supercharger, Whipple, whatever, you know. But you just want the headers, you just want the headers. And a lot of people going upgrade or change the spark plugs, and that's fine. NJK make a good one, and a high dollar one that's pretty good. But you got to realize NJK make AC Delco too. So at the same time, ain't nothing wrong with my spark plugs. I kept them in there. Um, Maybe if I took the spark plugs out, maybe it'd been kind of easier to get the fasteners on all of them in the locking position. But like I said, if I ever did want to tighten the bolts down some more after driving it so while, that means you got to take them fasteners off and go back in it and lock it down. It's your choice. I give you another option. Some people are using the ARP bolts instead of the Kooks bolts, and I'm not saying the Kooks bolts not working. They work fine so far. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, this is really my second day at it, or testing it out and everything. But I'm gonna see how I do for the rest of this month or next month. And I'm gonna check them periodically, but right now they holding in pretty good. That's one thing about this right here. Putting them back in, the headers back in the truck, the left side and the right side. Be honest with you, you know what I'm saying. It's good if you had some help. Okay, now I'm not trying to brag or anything like that, but I'm one guy. You know what I'm saying. On a good day, I could bench press 315 pounds. Okay, I'm not saying I'm not strong. I'm not saying I couldn't handle it by myself. But the position, how them headers goes in from the bottom up, because that's the way you're going to have to go, from the bottom up. The way I went anyway. It's good if you had some help at the bottom ends to help you push them up. Now, taking them off, I did them by myself. And putting them back up, I needed my son to come out here and help me, just to push on the bottom end. He got in the truck and pushed up the bottom while I started the two bolts. And after that, it was good to go. And he did both sides like that. And my son 8 years old, but he's strong enough to push it up a little bit. So sometimes you can find you some assistance on pushing the headers up and trying to start them off. That's fine. You're going to need some help with that. I ain't going to lie. You could try, if you're strong, you can handle it from the top or handle it from the side, by all means, go ahead. But if you had some assistance, a neighbor, a friend, buddy, your son, your kids, whoever, it'd be good if they could help assist you while you're installing them. You know what I'm saying, that way. So all depends on how you feel. Other than that, I'll tell you another thing you might run into. This liner here, they have a lot of little screws with this liner. Okay. Now, one thing about this liner, make sure you're in a well-lit area or you have a flashlight or a good drop light, whatever. When you take all these little bolts out of this liner, it's good to take this liner out. This liner will help you out if you take it all the way out. There's a panel that goes down here, and I'm gonna show you on the other side. This is the panel that goes on the side I just came from. Okay, but this is the side I had already completed because I'm finishing up mine. This right here. When you're taking out this liner out of here, you got all these little bolts in here. You got to take out, little screws. All right. This panel right here, if I was you, try not to take that whole panel off. Loosen up these two bolts down here. All right. Loosen like one or two of these bolts up down here, preferably just that one, and get the rest of these bolts out and take that liner on out. You take this whole panel off. If you want to hook into these two plastic fasteners back here, it can be hard to connect. But it will still go on now because there's a plastic piece on the back side. And you hook these two, hopefully it'll stay. But the way it came off, it's going to be hard to put it on the way it came off. You know what I'm saying? The way it has ready designed, because they got two little plastic things. Unless you got some like a tool to take out the retainer clips, the little clips that go in here. When you don't have that special tool, whatever, you can easily break them little plastic little clips off and so forth. So it's not going to, trust me, I had the problem already. And that's something to watch out for. Um, right under the bottom, golly, I really don't feel like getting back under the truck. But anyway, right there with the alternator at, excuse me, with the starter at, there's a line to hook up into that starter. You're gonna have to zip tie that line down some. If you're running 1 7/8, I don't know how it is with a 1 3/4, but if on a 1 7/8, it might touch that line just a little bit. It's already wrapped up in aluminum, so you got a newer truck like mine, you'll see it. It's already wrapped up in some kind of aluminum type plastic, whatever, aluminum type taping or whatever, but some type of shield. But pull that line down just a little bit, zip tied, so the hot exhaust header tube won't touch it. And that's the only thing you really had to zip tie. That I had to zip tie anyway. Um, you will see zip ties on the instructions. I'm tell you something about the instructions. Hold on. This is the instructions. All right, or the Kooks headers when I got mine. You see this? That 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, same thing. There's quick instructions on removal process, quick instructions on the installation process, and they go to back. That's it. So I'll let you know right now, there ain't no pictures, there ain't really no tell you exactly what to do. It's pretty vague. But and not trying to disrespect nobody or downgrade nobody like that or make nobody feel bad. You can do some header work. Please have some mechanical experience. Your average Joe can't do headers. I mean, make sure you got some mechanical skills. Make sure you're ready to work. Make sure you got patience. Make sure you have time. You're doing it at home in your garage and stuff and so forth like that. Make sure you got a good back that day. Make sure you got protection on the ground, cardboard, whatever, whatever, creeper, whatever. Because you can be on your back, you can be on top of the engine, you can be on the side. It's a job. I'm not gonna cut. I ain't gonna lie to you. It's a job. This ain't no walk in the park. You know what I'm saying? So you need to be ready. Have all your tools on deck. Have all your ratchets working. I mean, it's something to get prepared for. This ain't. It's a process. You know what I'm saying? It ain't that hard, like difficult, like troubleshooting, man, figuring the type stuff. You know what I'm saying? Why you got to figure this out? It's just time consuming because you got to take out all these little boats. You got to get it's in hard places. You know, and you got to do a little fitment adjustment and so forth like that. But once you get everything down, pack it, everything good. Back there with a Y pipe out, make sure when they say check behind your bolts, they mean that. After you install your headers the first time, you let it run, get up to normal temperature, cut it off, let it cool down, go back and retorque every bolt. Every bolt, every nut, every bolt you did. You know what I'm saying? Go back and do it. On top of the header wise and on that Y pipe. That's extremely important. Don't even play around with that. Don't think you got a real torque down the first go around because I don't know what about that heat. That heat will loosen about all them bolts. You know what I'm saying? They say put little anti-seize on them. They will back out on you. Make sure you torque all them down. Go back and check everything. It's serious. Good thing. And not to brag about it, but it did happen. Had no engine light. No engine light whatsoever. That's a lot of people. Hey, that's a good thing. So, like I was saying about this instructors and stuff, when it come down to it and so forth, about where to start or what's my starting point and so forth like that. I mean, it's basically up to you. What I did, I started from down there at the Y pipe. disconnecting my cats from my exhaust manifold first, and I disconnected my wire pipe from the resonator and everything in the back first. So when I did take my headers off, so the headers was actually, excuse me, not the headers, the exhaust manifold was still mounted to the engine, and if I had to torque them nuts off the wire pipe and so forth, they was there for stability. That's where I started from. Make sure you, like I said in the other video, but this video I said again, make sure you disconnect that battery. O2 sensors and everything. Let me show you my wire pipe. Hold on. This is my wire pipe, original exhaust. I took it off already. Some of the gas exhaust manifold when I took off and so forth. When it comes down to your wire pipe and so forth, things you may want to do, go and slide your wire pipe from under your, after you drop that cross member, slide your wire pipe from under your truck. What I did, I disconnected it from the harness, okay, from under the truck. And I had, like I say, keep your O2 sensors in there when you take that wire pipe out. Keep your O2 sensors in there, and your original wire pipe. Just disconnected from the harness. You got two on one side, two on the other side. Two on your driver's side, left side, two on the right side. Just disconnect the harness, okay, on both sides. Drag your wire pipe out from under your truck with the O2 sensors installed, okay. So when you start, keep them in there until you're ready to install your wire pipe. Match up your wire pipe and so forth, your headers and so forth. Then you take, what I did, I took my O2 sensors off and put them in order. So the same way I took it out, the same way I'm putting it back in. And that's how you match them up. You take your O2 sensors off all together and don't know which one go to which, you're gonna have a problem when you're installing it and running your engine again after installing it. So make sure you put the right O2 back in the same original spot. So on your headers, one of your O2s, two of your O2s is gonna be on the headers because they long tubes. Okay, on the Kooks headers, two of your O2 ports. Well, one of your O2 ports gonna be on the left side, one of your O2 ports gonna be on the right side of the headers, and then you're gonna have it on the wire pipe too. So make sure you just put it in order. You don't want to mess up the O2 sensors or put the wrong one in the wrong area. All right, and then you be wondering why people be having engine codes and all this other stuff. But put it in order. So that's why I kept mine on the wire pipe after I slid it out from the truck. Put a little anti-seize on there, put them down. On the left side, which is your driver's side of the truck, when you installing your wire pipe and so forth, after you got your headers on and everything, and when you're about to connect your oxygen sensors, on the left side, you have no problem hooking up to the original areas where your harness is at. On the right side, you got to play with it a little bit. Not too much. You just have to, on one of them, going to hook up to the harness like perfect. One look like it was a little short, but you have to make a little adjustment. So you have on your original harness that's got all these little fasteners and attachments and stuff to keep them close to your truck and everything. You had to unfasten one, pull down a little wire a little bit, and then hook it on up. Just, if you want to get some type of extension, you can, but I'm just letting you know it will work. Just have to play with it a little bit. That was one of the things you probably had to play with on that part. Other than that, everything else was pretty smooth. Programming wise, after you install your Kooks headers, it's good to either get it programmed or dyno or tuned some kind of way. Now, me myself, I have a Banks Automine tuner. It was already tuned before I did it, but like I said, when I installed my headers, I had no engine code. I'm not saying nothing gonna pop in the future, but right now I have no engine code. I redid the tune again, adjust my tune and everything again with my tuner. Like I said, I have a Banks Power Automine tuner. No engine code whatsoever. No engine light. No misfiring. No O2 sensor code. No nothing for right now. It's running smooth, running good. So thank God for that. I'm not trying to have no engine. I'm not trying to go across that game with an engine light either. They are some other steps you can do if you did run into a code, but like I said, since I didn't have one, I'm really not gonna stress that right now. But other than that, like I said, it's a job, but it can be done. It can be done right here in your garage. I did it myself. On assistance I had with my son. He 8 years old. He helped me with the headers, pushing them up when I put the bolts in. Thank God for his help, because he didn't. I'll still be playing with this thing now unless I had called one of my partners over here. But other than that, what I'm saying, some little things to really go over about installing your Kooks headers. Since it is a process and it's time consuming, I didn't want to video the whole thing, me doing it and so forth, because that'll take a little while. Most people that do headers are mechanically inclined. More, because it's kind of difficult. So, the average Joe, like I said before, is not going to get involved in it. But if you know a little bit about mechanical work and worked on engines and transmission cars and so forth, you've been doing it for a while, hey, you could tackle it. But just be prepared, So talking to people like that, I shouldn't have to break down exactly what I did and show them step by step, because they're going to do it the way how they want to do it anyway. But and tell you the truth, it's basically taking stuff off and putting right back on. It ain't that hard. That's all you're doing, taking it off and putting it right back on. I'm making it sound kind of simple, but like I said, it's a task. But I'm making it sound kind of simple because with Kooks headers, one good thing about Kooks headers and their Y pipe, everything fit pretty much perfect. So I didn't have no fitment issues at all, and I went with their largest long tube headers. So and it sound, oh my God, aggressive sound. Oh my God, hold up, y'all ain't hear it yet. Hold on for a second. All right, so right now I'm about to start it up for you. That's them Kooks headers. That's that roar. That's it.